Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm talking about C-sections, cesarean sections, and they're very serious. They can be very complicated. They can go very smoothly, either way. But surgery, any kind of surgery, is serious, and I know because I had two. I did recover very well, I think, but you still feel the aftermath, even to this day. I still feel the aftermath. Even though my last C-section was 4 months ago, I still feel not all the way right. Even when I had my son, it was 2 years and I still didn't feel all the way right. Something about just not losing that extra pudge there. Some people can. Good for you. Not me. So, but when it comes to C-sections, just know that it is a last resort. It's not something that they're going to just spring on you unless you chose to have a C-section, or you had a C-section before and you have to have another one. Now, if you want to try a vaginal birth after a C-section, it is possible. Just depends on your doctor and your doctor's company if they allow it. But mine didn't, so I didn't have a vaginal after a C-section. But when it comes to prep, you can either prep at home or they can prep you in the hospital. I would say just let them prep you in the hospital because they're going to use their own soap. They're going to shave you how they want to shave you. And if it's not the way you did it at home, they're going to do it the way they need to do it at home. So, somebody calling me. But, I forgot to put my phone on vibrate. Silly me. Rookie mistake. I know. Won't happen again. But, yeah, prep time. During this prep, you're going to be in the hospital and they're going to, like I said, shave you, clean you up real good. They are also going to talk to you. Doctor's going to come and talk to you, the ones that are doing the C-section during the surgery. I think there's supposed to be two. And then they're going to talk to you about your allergies, your medications, the pain meds you'll be on afterwards, all that stuff. And they're going to tell you what's going to happen, what could happen, and what hopefully won't happen. So, with that being said, I think that it is very nerve-wracking just sitting there hearing all that stuff because anything could possibly go wrong. But just know that it's going to work out how God wants it to work out. When you get into the surgery room, your significant other is not allowed to go with you at first because they have to prep you. So when you go in there, they're going to sit you up on your little bed. And it's so cold in there, I was shivering the whole time. The first C-section was not planned. I was in labor for 13 hours. And I just couldn't dilate any more than 7 centimeters. And I cried when they told me we're going to do a C-section. It turns out that he was face up. And I couldn't deal with being cut. Even though I didn't understand the C-section, I just did not want to do it. And I remember it was about 4 people in the room that day. My boyfriend, my stepmom Valerie, and my best friend Kiara, and Drea, my cousin Drea. I remember when they rolled me out, I looked at Drea, and the tears were just falling down. My dad was in there too. My dad was in there. And he was just telling me, it's okay, why are you scared? He was just trying to calm me down. And I looked at Drea, tears were just rolling down. I wasn't even crying, it was just tears. And I looked at her and I said, I want my mama. Now when you ask for your mama as a grown person, you know you're terrified. And I was terrified, okay? So they rolled me out there. You can see all these people in the hallway and they just looking at you and I'm like, this is so embarrassing. I was mad, I was sad, I was scared, I was just all around, all the emotions. And when I went in there, they sat me up and they put a spinal block in. The spinal block is when they put this medicine in the little tube and the needle and they put it on your lower back. And once they put it in there, you cannot move. So there's going to be someone behind you, someone in front of you. And they want to make sure you know that you cannot move. The same thing with the epidural. And once that medicine gets into you, you can feel like you're going to feel like you got to pee because it's so warm. It's so warm everywhere all around your body, especially down between your legs. It's really warm. And they'll let you sit up for a minute, and then you'll lay down. And at that time, they'll start prepping and getting the mirrors, the curtains, all that stuff together. And they'll keep checking on you. And during this time, it was pandemic. So everybody had extra stuff on, like masks. Well, I always have a mask, but I had a mask on too. And then my boyfriend came in, he had on the mask. And he has hair all the way down to his back. So he had to have extra, you know. It was a mess. He looked a mess. But he was still cute. But after that, that's when I was starting to get really nervous. I kept telling him, I'm nervous. I'm so nervous. Even though it was my second time. The first time I couldn't talk because I just couldn't. I just telling him, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I tried. And he was reassuring me that it's okay and it's not my fault and all that stuff. But I was just nervous. The second time I was being able to witness all of it. I stayed awake. I wasn't as heavily medicated. And they are going to tell you that you're gonna feel some pushing and pulling. And you're gonna feel some pushing and pulling. Okay, it's gonna feel like somebody all the way to your back. It doesn't hurt, but you do feel that pushing and that pulling, that feeling. And then when she was getting ready to take him out, all you heard was her sounding like she was giving a vaginal birth. She just kept going, ugh, ugh. And then once he finally came out, the two nurses came over and they took him and they put him on the machine to weigh him, and he was 7 pounds. I mean, we both looked at each other and we was like, 7 pounds? As big as I was? My first was almost 9 pounds. And I was bigger this second pregnancy than I was the first pregnancy. So, once they weighed him, they said his temperature was a little low. So you had to put him on under the heater for a little bit. And that kind of made me nervous too. And then after that, it was 30 more minutes. So really only took like 20 minutes for them to pull him out. And then after that, it was another 30 minutes of them doing my tubal. And with that, it was just, I didn't feel anything after that. I was just more cold and shaky and just cold. But I just wanted to see him. And when they brought him over, he was just kind of like all whiny and just so cute. I was just so happy. And you couldn't see I was smiling because I had a freaking mask on. But I think it is one picture of me having a mask off, pulling the mask down or whatever, being able to kiss him. But after that, I went into recovery. Now recovery, you're there for you get a different room. You're there for maybe about 2 days. The most is 3 days. Recovery, you have to have somebody, like because of the pandemic, you have to have somebody else in the room with you if you're going to take a nap. Because if you're going to take a nap, then you need to have somebody else in the room with the baby because there's no nursery. But yeah, and then just being in there, just being in the room with my baby, with the recovery, you can't move fast. It takes you a minute. It took me at least 3 minutes to get from my bed to the bathroom. 3 minutes, just because it's so much pain, and you can only take a certain amount of medicine. I would say try to keep taking your medicine as often as they allow you to, because you don't want to feel that pain, especially when you're trying to take care of your baby. You don't want to feel that pain. And if you're in there for those 2 days, just let them take care of you. But you take care of your baby as best as you can, and take care of yourself. Make sure you eat and get your food and all that stuff. But when I got home, I was so happy to be home. But that recovery at home is a lot different because you don't have those nurses going to be there for you 24/7. You do have your significant other, which I had, but I also had 3 other kids to take care of. Even though I didn't have to do much because they're all pretty much capable to do that on their own. But I just think that it's a lot more because it took at least 2 months, about 2 months for me to fully heal. after those first 6 weeks, I didn't need to take the pain medicine. And can you imagine that 6 weeks of straight pain? But after 2 months, I didn't feel any pain, period. And then within those 2 months, I think I stopped bleeding. And they don't tell you this. Even though you have a C-section, you still bleed. You still bleed through your hoo-ha. Okay? And I don't think that's fair at all. But I guess you gotta get all the yucky stuff out some kind of way. Whatever. But I did bleed for about 6 weeks. And then 2 weeks later, here come Mother Nature. I'm like, this ain't no break at all. Just because I wasn't pregnant for 10 months, almost, you know, I mean, I didn't have a cycle for almost a year. That doesn't mean that you get to come over here and just be all like, I'm back. Not cool. But the recovery is really, really rough. That's when you know, like you know it's going to get better. Just keep telling yourself it's going to get better, because the recovery is bad. It's really hard. You're moving slow. You can't stand up straight. I would suggest getting one of those belly bandits. Some hospitals allow them. Some hospitals don't. But I would suggest get one of those. And then I found mine on Walmart. Walmart.com. Yeah, Walmart online. Get one of those, and it helps with not only keeping your belly together, but when you're getting up and you have that C-section cut right there, your belly's not rubbing on it as much. So that would help. And then also to help keep your midsection up off of your lap and getting all that airflow into your hoo-ha and your incision, because that incision needs to stay dry as possible, because you don't want to get any kind of extra sweat. You don't want to get nothing too soapy. Well, you do want to clean it, but not too much. You just want the water to just rinse down there. Don't put any soap down there. But with that, it was kind of like, okay, take deep breaths, because that first shower in the hospital is going to be hard. And when you're in the hospital, you have to make sure that you at least pee. And some hospitals make sure that you don't want you to have a bowel movement before you leave. Luckily, mine only required me to have to pee. But when I was in hospital, I had fiber bars in my hospital bag. Fiber bars really helped me to go to the bathroom, because you're going to get constipated. The fiber bars are going to help you to go to the bathroom a little bit quicker. So that's why that's why I learned during the second pregnancy, rather than the first pregnancy. I was constipated, child. But just get with those fiber bars. They're great. So just take it easy. Try to do as least amount as possible. They do want you to move around, because it helps for you to get your body back to normal. And remember, keep your head up. Never let your crown fall. You are powerful. You are important. Your voice needs to be heard. And always, thank you for watching my video. Give it a like. Give it a comment. And subscribe. Please subscribe. Please. Any good comment. I don't want your bad comments. Good comments. And as always, thanks for watching. Miss Davis here.